I am Shenua and I'm at Ascend Movement Studio in Kimberley, BC. And I'm just here today to introduce the concept of mobility and give you a little idea of what the heck mobility is and why we might use the word mobility instead of flexibility and how those two aspects of fitness can actually differ. People often ask me what the difference is between mobility and flexibility, and flexibility is basically our ability to move a joint into a position or a range of motion. Often when we think about flexibility, it means we're moving that joint into maybe a slightly extreme range of motion. And flexibility, often when we're doing flexibility training, there's an element of passivity in it, meaning we may use an external object, a prop, our body weight, maybe even momentum, or some external force to help get us into that position. So a good example could be if I were doing a classic sort of chest stretch, I might place my hand against the wall and use the wall to brace and stabilize my arm, and then rotate my body away from it to come into this extreme position for my shoulder joint. When I say extreme, it just means it's kind of close to the end range. The difference between mobility and flexibility is that mobility gets you there on your own. So can we adopt a similar position and have control to get us into that position on our own, as well as have integrity once we're there? So if we can actively move into a range of motion, we probably have more control over that range of motion. And then once we're there, can we own that position? And that's another term or a phrase I use a lot. Are we owning that position? Flexibility, we're often visiting a position or a shape, and mobility, we're looking to own that position and have control and integrity there. And that's kind of the big difference and why mobility training is now really seeing an uptake in our fitness and rehabilitation and movement worlds. We're seeing a lot of focus on building mobility so that we can move into more shapes, more positions, have more control, be more efficient with our movements, as well as potentially reduce risk of injuries as well. All right, so follow along to see how we might start a mobility practice here at Ascend.